don't be a dick.
Yes.
I love that.
Just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dick and don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
Me want my dad, give me to my wee. Me want my dad, give me to my wee. Me want my dad, give me to my wee.
There's a pub called the Good Mixer, and I was in there, and they were asking all the male, because it was quite obvious, Camden at that time, early 2000s.
And also like male groups.
It was, and they were
very dominant.
Exactly, and she wanted like male, Goldfrapp wanted men for the video, like the kind of cool looking indie boys, and I was just like, well, can't I audition as well? And
yeah,
they were like,
why not?
Well, if you want. So I went along to this audition, and it was just a mime with guitar, and I just
like a Top of the Pops version.
I was just literally miming, and then I said, and you had to introduce yourself. So I was like, I'm Andrea, I play guitar and bass, like quite prominently.
Highlight that.
I don't know what, but I said it like really prominently, and then. And I just did the audition, didn't get that, but then the manager managed this band called Ladytron, and they called me and just said, "Oh, I've seen your video. We need Ladytron need a bass player. Would you, And they're like, would you be interested?" I said, "Yeah," and they were like, "But can you actually play?" Because they'd only seen me miming. And I can actually play. Yeah. So this was, I think this was 2005. Yeah. And they at the time, it's still being. Like, things have changed so quickly in that time, I think. But they sent me a CD in the post. Which never happened. 2 days.
Can you imagine? Nowadays, they like...
Yeah, it's
just
like,
ping it over.
Ping it over,
Exactly.
So, no Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
No Instagram, not anything.
I mean, that does age me. So, but anyway, that's how it... So I had to wait 2 days for the CD
That's
to get
crazy.
there.
And you're going...
And then I had 2 days to learn it. But I just sat...
was it one song?
No, it was a whole gig.
The whole gig?
Yeah.
The whole gig?
Wow.
Yeah, so basically I just sat there, and I just learned all the songs, like wrote them out, and then I just played them and played them and played them and played. I just didn't stop. I just didn't stop.
No.
I was just obsessed, because I thought this is a proper opportunity.
This is what you want.
And then I kind of went to the audition, and I'd worked out too much. I'd learned loads of keyboard parts as well.
Oh,
and they
really?
Were like, you don't need
Didn't
to
need to
play
do
that.
that.
But
She's over prepared.
Exactly.
She took it further.
Hang on, is it a one-man band you wanted?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But because the thing is, the worst is if then they go, "Oh no, can you actually play that part?" And then you're like, "Oh, what part? I don't know what that is." So and I got that gig, and then that we toured with them. I kind of toured in. We did the States. I think we did about 40 dates on one tour.
Cool thing to do.
Round.
So going from so you just come from, like, was it music school that
I
you
went
went
to music college? Yeah,
and then after kind of not being you thinking maybe it's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'd had a band of original stuff, so that was like trying to get signed kind of thing, but there was too many people in there. There was one kind of main songwriter, and then other people also writing songs, and then there was too many people,
too many strong characters that all wanted the limelight. So
it was good, but that never happened, and it's hard to get. There's a lot of it's just very difficult. And then I at that point as well. Good friend of mine that I was at music college with, and we all lived in a shared house. Drew McConnell.
I love the share house.
He played.
So much fun.
Fun and disgusting.
Oh yeah.
Like the bin.
Was there like one bathroom between everyone?
Yeah. And then the bin that like when it was full, the lid got taken off the bin, so
and
then the rubbish
mounted,
just piled, and then like one tea bag that was like balanced like on the thing, and then it almost like
have you seen that game where they pour the water into the cup and
exactly
gradually it's like that. It's like,
exactly
if it falls, it's then your responsibility to end it.
Exactly. But it was
good times.
It was really good. But so Drew and like everyone kind of was doing little bits, but he got the gig with Baby Shambles for Pete Doherty, so he was off, and my mate also Lowestoft, so really good friends with Ed from The Darkness, and
cool.
And so they'd got signed.
Yeah.
They'd got signed like I think they'd been signed for about 2 years.
And you're going,
and I'm just like, oh, maybe it's just not going to happen.
Sometimes you feel like left out, doesn't it?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
was it also like thinking, I'm a woman? Is it something? Were you thinking like that in any way? I mean, I don't know. Being a female singer, or
maybe it's
is
kind
it different
of
being a bass player? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think that it's weird because there's advantages and not. I think there's some bands that just wouldn't, and some artists. I know there's an artist that didn't want a female in their band. I'm not going to say who it is.
You're not?
Yeah.
Loose lip sync ships.
Okay,
But I know they were auditioning, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go for,
but why not? Why not have a female though?
Well, quite. But then also, but I think Paloma particularly liked that I was female.
Yeah.
With Ladytron, I think there was two female, 2 male in the band as the core band, and then they got myself and a drummer in for the tour. So so I think that with that, I think it kind of worked, and I think that their manager spotted me, or I stood out because I had the same haircut as one of the singers. So I think as well that may have it
worked.
Yeah,
worked together.
As well.
Yeah, and it just maybe made him think, oh, this could be someone.
Interesting. Someone who's kind of bring a flavour.
And you've got a really good stage presence about you as well. And you definitely stand out. When I came to the region in Ipswich recently to watch you, you very much stand out. Very much so.
I miss that gig.
I know.
We did Thetford Forest. Actually.
Yeah, I know.
That.
Definitely. It's an amazing place to go as well. I actually went to
We
watch
need to
Paloma
go,
in Thetford Forest quite a few years ago.
Yeah, we did.
So how would be the setup though? I've never been to Thetford.
Well, I think they just build a stage. They bring a stage in and then just like
throughout the summer there's a variety of different acts.
Yeah, so they just build, it's like festival basically. So they'll just build all the stage and all.
Brilliant.
Jumping ahead out of interest, I know that obviously Paloma doesn't have this is me as also we're very similar. But I think Paloma says she doesn't have a warm-up act, but they tend to have one at Thetford. I was just wondering, will there be?
Yeah, that was just on that last tour. Was the first time we've done it, and I think one night she kind of did say, "I think I've actually shot myself in the foot here because I'm actually knackered doing 2 gigs a night." But normally you'll get a support band on. But so this time it was like she was doing the whole of the first album. Sorry, not the first album. The whole of the new album. Yeah. Then an interval, so that was about 50 minutes to an hour. Then an interval, 25 minutes. Then we come back on and do all the hits from previous albums.
Yeah.
It was like 2 gigs.
You need something to be.
Yeah, you need a little bit of a warm, especially when you're doing it every night of the week. It's like it's hard.
Well, we normally do 2 gigs and then a day off. So that's actually quite nice. But previous, the proper. When I say proper touring, but proper grueling touring, some of those you do 3, 4, 5 days in a row.
Talking about Paloma though, how long you guys have been working together?
So I've been in the band now 16 years.
Wow.
Again,
16 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but she was introduced because she introduced the band at the end. So it's my longest standing band member who's been with me since she was getting 30 quid a gig.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
It was actually it was a bit more than 30. I think it was. Well, so we met. Again, through my friend Drew, he's just one of those people that just kind of knows. I don't know. He's just that guy that knows a lot of people, and just so he'd met. I don't know. Anyway, he knew Paloma, and we had a mutual friend. I think he was a guitarist, or they had a mutual friend that was a guitarist. Anyway, and Paloma's looking for a new band, and I think I auditioned for 2008, and we did a few kind of shows, but it would be Hoxton Bar and Grill, basically pub gigs.
Yeah.
And she'd pay out of the fee for the band, she'd pay the band a bit, and then whatever was the split. But her portion of it, she'd spend on dressing the stage. So
that's
so
amazing.
She'd go to party in
nice.
Dalston and get blue.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Were these still originals that you were singing, or were you singing covers as well?
Yeah, it was originals. I think she did do a covers band before that. We do a couple of covers, I think, but this
just
was
to keep
originals.
the crowd.
Yeah.
Because when you're starting out, it's hard, isn't it? Everyone's like, what's this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, and then so she'd written good few songs, like probably definitely like an album's worth, and then she got signed and then basically just wrote like all these songs. So I think she got signed in 2009.
Yeah.
Right. So I was still, but so I'd kind
of stuck with her.
Yeah. Well, I'd finished. Yeah. So I'd toured with Paloma with Ladytron since 2005. Yeah. And then there was like that lasted about 2 to 3 years, and then 2008 was another little bit for me that I just thought, oh well, I've had that, like, and then the kind of work, they went off to write a new album. Yeah. I'd kind of got a few gigs with Paloma, but then I started to think, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then kind of Paloma got signed, and then we were doing all these like amazing
and she stuck with you guys as well.
Well,
or maybe she had to pick people around.
I think management then comes into play, and we're like, well, who?
No, I think it's more her choice, but I'm the only one who's been consistently doing it for that time.
There must be something you're doing right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What are you doing right though?
Okay, well, I think. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? I don't know.
So after 16 years, though, that must be like family almost.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I do think that, I mean, there's certain things that, like a lot, sometimes the people in the band. So we had Leanne LaHavas was on backing vocals for that first bit. Yeah. And she obviously left to go and do her own solo stuff. And lots of other people have done that, like Shea, he now plays for Gorillaz, and various other people. And so he kind of left to do his own thing.
All the stuff that I want.
I know, I'm name dropping. I'm left, right, and centre. I'm just like, they're showering down.
This is your life, though. This is experience, and this is just like it's a legacy. It's like, look at all this stuff I've done.
The memories,
These are things that, probably growing up you dreamt about. Go for it.
The biggest name. Okay, so
if you say Michael Jackson, I'm going to die inside.
Close. So the first album, we did a gig for Prince. So it was, he had a festival.
Excuse me? Dum.
So
hold on.
So he put on his own festival in Denmark. Yeah, the Prince.
I love that.
And basically we were like, this was, like I said, first album. So she's known, but not on any kind of level. She put this really funny video up recently of, I think it's the first time she got asked for autographs. And it was like, apparently it's two people outside, but she was like kind of actually got asked for an autograph. It's a funny little video that she kind of posted recently.
That's cool.
But so she was known, but not anywhere near like she is now. And so anyway, Prince was putting on his festival, so it was him, then Shaka Khan, Raphael Sadiq, I think. Someone else, I think.
Raphael Sadiq.
Yeah, he was on. So we were on.
It's funny what things excite us different. Because I'm going Prince, Shaka Khan, and you're going Raphael Sadiq, and I'm going. Really, I should know who this is.
Not everybody knows Raphael Sadiq.
Yeah.
Give me a song. What's the song?
I can't have one, but no. But seriously, he's good.
It was like the lineup was crazy, and we were on first, so we were on about 1:00 midday or something like that. So we travelled over there, and like I was obviously like super nervous. I was like, this is like quite a big thing. And I remember asking our tour manager, I was like, is Prince, do you reckon he'll come and watch us? And the tour manager was like, no way, it's Prince. He's going to be in his like beyond 5-star hotel room.
But it's his festival, right?
Yeah. And he's Prince. But we were kind of told there's no way he'll turn up, but not that early. He might come later, but he's not going to come and watch.
He's going to be in and out.
Yeah, he won't be. So anyway, and we're doing the gig, and I could see everyone just being like, all the monitors and all the people on the side,
the crowds
just like slow, like kind of pointing and all this stuff. And I'm just like playing, and then I just look, and I'm like,
and you keep going, and you do
I'm
it
just
correct,
and
nothing goes wrong.
I'm just like, right, nail. Not that I ever don't think nail this, but I was just like, right now, here we go, right, come on. And then
because this guy knows what he's doing.
Because Prince, he could play bass.
Oh God, he could play everything.
He could play everything.
He could just play. He was like
everything.
Everything. Like literally, like it's like. that was a lot. And then we kind of afterwards, like we, kind of just briefly met him, and it was cool. And then he, as he does, which he did with Leanne La Havas as well, he kind of mentored Paloma a little bit, and kind of she was amazing. Yeah, he was like they were like hanging out, and he was just all this stuff was with Paloma. So and which is it's great, and like he was, there's lots of things that he told her, like go out to the front. And anyway, I didn't know this until about 4 weeks ago on tour. She was telling a story.
4 weeks ago?
Yeah, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So basically she was like, and Prince kind of said, the other thing you need to do, like you need a better band. Like your band's just not good enough. So really? I'm just like, So and then she was like, he was like, apart from the bass player and the backing vocalist.
Hey!
That's amazing. You must have been like,
I had Prince in the approval.
I was nearly going, no, I literally had a tear going, oh my God, your heart must have sank like that.
Elle, come on, man.
Wow.
Prince.
Anyway. I don't know if I should
Prince
says... If the other band watches, sorry guys.
Do you know what though? Do you know sometimes you've just got to know.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that the people that were playing at the time haven't done something better with their life or done something great. It just means that we've all got to learn.
Yeah. But come on, Elle. Come on. Prince would say to you, you gotta change your whole band.
Yeah. Apart from
just one. Just one.
Yeah, that's why I still can't, like, that's
it's only sinking in.
Yeah, I didn't know that the whole time. Wow. Maybe
all these years.
Yeah, maybe that's what's good. It's just a slight insecurity. Now I'll just ruin it. I'm just arrogant. I'm like, Prince said I should stay.
That's the thing. No. Just sitting down.
No.
Not knowing that's great. It keeps you humble maybe in lots of ways.
I think as well, I just feel like I've always, and I think there's a lot of musicians like this. I think there's always a slight imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
That has never gone, and I think most of the really good musicians I know have that a bit.
Yeah.
There's a few that are, but I know some amazing musicians who kind of who don't have that, and but I think that's fairly exceptional. Most of the people I know, and any mistake that even if it's tiny, it's like it feels so huge. And it's like you just can't.
And most of the time, no one else notices it.
No, exactly.
But you notice it.
Yeah, and it feels like the end.
It becomes like a real burden on you. Like, I can't believe that one gig.
How to control it though?
Yeah.
What, the imposter syndrome?
Yeah, like how do you stop yourself from... I think the confidence...
I don't know, you kind of almost don't... It's almost like not thinking about it. But so I had a thing, I've told this before actually, but I had a thing where we had a high... I'd say sometimes I play like a Moog synthesizer, and we had a hired equipment because we were doing New Orleans Jazz Festival, which is obviously amazing.
And it was jazz. Loves jazz.
It was we're doing Montreux as well this year, Montreux Jazz, and we've done that before. That was incredible. So New Orleans Jazz Festival. It's been filmed. It was going out on TV, and I had this hired synth, and I went backstage, and obviously it's a festival, so there's no sound check. It's just changeover. So backstage behind everything, I'm like, this is out of tune. So I tuned the synth. Yeah. Then I said to the techs, like, oh, good, I'm good to go. Great, go get changed, makeup, whatever. Come back on stage. So obviously then they unplug it, plug it back on, set everything up in changeover.
Wow. Yeah.
So I start playing.
They unplugged it.
Yeah, because you have to,
because they need to move it. Oh, I know what's coming.
Yeah, it's plugged in.
I know what's coming.
So I start playing. I'm like, someone is so out of tune.
Isn't it?
I look up and the guitarist is going like, and I'm like, so I'm then trying to play this line that I normally play with two hands, and I'm not, and I'm trying to like tune it, and then I looked at our guitarist, this is Banks, and he basically he was like, no, more, and I'm just like tune it, and then he's like, yeah, you could, and then I'm just keep playing.
Is it just the move that had just?
So basically, it had been transposed and programmed in the memory. It was transposed. And I didn't know that. I just thought it was out of tune, it was just nobody's actual fault.
So if anything, they unplugged it. It'll go back to
so it reset.
Oh,
to this
no.
Reset. Yeah, that's what happened.
That's why when you do the setup, no one should touch anything.
Yeah, but it's because it was a festival. So now what we do, we've got a tuner on the keyboard now.
On the go.
But we didn't have that taught us to do that. So if that ever did happen,
luckily
you could just
you've used your ear.
Yeah, but I was in my head. I'm on TV, and I've now played out of tune for the first time.
And people are going to see me, and what's this like?
So I was then spent that whole probably 3/4 of the set, half of or whatever how many songs, just being
dwelling on it.
Just no, and you can't tell. You can't tell. But I was like, well, you had a good run, Andrea. That's good. You've had a good time, and this is it. This is your last gig, so try and enjoy it. And that's what I was thinking. It was
the pressure as well. You think about it.
because it's on TV. I've missed it. I've totally. There's nothing worse.
But you're a human being, and everyone's going to make mistakes.
But come on,
it's a competition, isn't it? That's the thing. There's people there waiting for your job.
But I came quite. But all the time. But I came on stage and I spoke to our musical director, and he kind of oversees some of the mix for broadcast. So I was like, David, I'm so sorry about that. It wasn't my thing now because I don't know what. I'm so sorry. He's like, don't worry. He's like, don't worry. They don't use the first song.
Oh,
so I'm like
yes,
Mardi Gras, New Orleans
time. Go for that. Yeah, and now we'll never get to see that. So that's brilliant. There's no evidence.
That was beautiful. That song is gone now.
Yeah, love
Start
that.
all over again.
Love that.
Since then, there's a tuner that you can use so you can't hear out front, but I can check and yeah. So
brilliant.
Right.
But there's certain things that just
it's ever so hard to play a tune when it's off tune as well.
Oh, you can't. Because this is set.
Some people they use the transpose on their
that's
on the
what
key.
they've done. They transposed it and then saved that setting.
And can you imagine if you don't know how to play all the keys?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that was
going mad because you need to now try whatever.
But you don't even know what it like. I didn't know how much, so I could at a push transpose it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know by how much.
Properly, or?
No, not really. No. It's because it's a mad sound as well. It's not like a piano. It's like it's this kind of fuzzy, weird, lovely sound. But and with all the stuff going on and being on stage, it's like you can't think that quick. I just got to tune this, and I could I could hear when it was right.
Oh my!
And she got the confirmation from the guitar. Is
that your worst experience? Would you say, or have you had one that
actually? No, this makes you sound really unprofessional.
No, not at all. Makes you sound like human. And lots of things go wrong in life.
There was one
things do go wrong.
Again with that same synth, there was a setting that I don't know why there was something, and it was the whole. I don't know, something malfunctioned. I think.
Is it the same gig?
No. This is actually quite recently, but we tested it in soundcheck and it was fine.
Yeah.
And then on the gig, it was really out. So I kind of start, and it's this song where Paloma's just singing and it's just keys, and then I come in with the.
So it's very exposing.
So very, very, and I played it and I was like, whoa, that's out of tune. I was like, whoa, okay, don't know what to do. And then the guitarist now. He just got, because we all have mics because we're on in-ears, so on our monitors. So when we have mics that obviously don't go out front, it just goes to our ears. And he's like, just play it on the electric bass, Andy. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm playing it, and it's fine. But then we go through it in sound check the next day, and I'm like, this sound, there was something wrong with it. I don't know what happened with it. It went out of tune. And then we tested it, and it's like, it's okay now. Great, let's do it on the gig again. Same thing happens, and I'm just like, okay. But then the next time but again, it was like, play it on electric, Andrea, and I'm like, just grab my thing, and then you just make it because
it's
just
part of your
through
thing.
it, and then just literally just like, right, I'm not
not doing that anymore.
Sound. Let's make a new one, and now it's fine.
But
I guess
it?
I
just not working in harmony with everything else.
It's some weird. I'm not going to get. I mean, Actually, I think I do know what it is now, but on the gig, it's like you've not got
it's not worth the risk. No.
So, but
do you think the people you play with, they they could find out that is.
Yeah. We kind of know it is, but then I'm just like, well, that's cursed now for me.
Yeah.
So that's just gone. I'm going to make a new one.
Not doing it anymore.
So yeah, because it's all it's on presets. So it is an analog synth, but it's presets. So anyway, I'm going to get. I think no one's interested in that.
He's a musician, so he'll know more than me.
I used to play drums.
Oh, nice.
Music, you know.
Yeah.
Bang them out. Yeah. But my thing is, why bass?
Why bass?
Why bass?
So I had a few piano lessons but my teacher was really dull. It was really dull, and it was because I basically, when I was little, I had a Bon Tempi keyboard from my cousin, and I used to have that, and I used to play along to I'd work out theme tunes by ear.
Yeah.
Like
I think we all did that.
Street, exactly. Yeah.
Couldn't play any more than that.
So that was always, but no, I didn't really play that. I loved doing recorder at school, which was the only option, and then.
Did you learn Morning Has Broken?
I got through the book. I got to the Entertainer. The Abracadabra recorder book. I got to 99.
Love that. Did you?
99.
God, you definitely. Yeah. I bet your parents loved those days of practice at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I always had music. Always very, always had a Walkman. Again, that's putting my age in there. But,
love a Walkman. The Walkman with the tape. Player and to carry around with you. Yeah.
Well, that was always a thing. But and then I think my cousin had piano lessons, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. Is it okay if I have a few? But and I did it for quite a bit, and it was okay. But it was just open the book, play the song,
all very classical as well, isn't it?
Well, it was actually pop. We did a bit of classical, but it was just reading the thing. She didn't
score, isn't it?
Yeah, never taught me anything about improvising. Never
Sometimes
taught me what
it's about
was
your
happening.
teacher as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just read the music. That's the treble clef. That's the bass clef. Okay, I'm going to read that. She never went into what was happening with the song. So and that obviously, and then I just lost interest. Because it wasn't.
That's the thing. That what would you prefer to play? Do you play by your ear or?
Yes, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Some people find it too
too structured, too logical, and
But I didn't mind it with piano. I didn't mind having the thing, but I suppose with her, she never taught me any other skills. So if I can't play piano now without having music.
Yeah. So you can't just go for it.
No, I mean a bit. I can a bit.
But you have to normally have the
just
music.
for if it's. I mean, I know chords now, but that wasn't taught. That was me teaching myself.
Yeah.
But also the music I was into as well. I started really getting in, Nirvana was all about, and that was my favourite band, and it was so guitar heavy. Then my dad did. I think my dad. I was on a guitar. My dad had an acoustic guitar that he didn't really play, and that got out of the loft. So I had that, it wasn't really that Nirvana sound.
Your parents had this stuff though. My parents didn't have any musical instruments. I'd have loved that. Growing up.
And then I think he did a job. He was a plumber, and he did a job. My dad did a job for someone, and I was like, I like this. I'd like an electric guitar.
Right.
And he did a job for someone, and I think they basically said, I've got a guitar, and it was. I think it was also. I think he got two, and it was a bass. So he was like, "Oh look, I've got you an electric guitar, but it was a bass."
Right.
So and I was like, "Oh okay, well let's try this." And then I had kind of guitar lessons and bass lessons from friends as well who were a bit older than me, and they were showing me some songs, and I kind of learnt both, but I just preferred bass. So that was it. I don't know why.
It's meaty. It's meaty, isn't it?
Exactly.
What's your first hook bass
Wild Thing by the Trogs, followed by Pretend We're Dead by L7. Oh no. It was Babes in Toyland song, He's My Thing. Actually, which was the same. It was the same, basically, I think about the same chords as the Trogs, Wild Thing. So it
Wild
was very
Thing,
easy.
Dun, dun. Is that the beginning?
Yeah, it's basically
Is it?
I don't know
those
that
sounds
songs,
like
though.
That sounded like that. Hello. Oh
yeah, there you
it
go.
did sound similar, didn't it?
Beautiful track.
It was just like it's but kind of about 3 or 4 chord songs, and they're like the one. But that was the whole thing, I think, with punk. It was like his 3 chords go form a band. So you wasn't like really complicated stuff. But I just
so you had a band with these. Were you kind of limited in what you could do initially, but you still joined a band, or?
Yeah, I think I made a band with my mates at school.
Brilliant.
Called Bev's Asthma.
Bev's Asthma. Who was Bev?
No, it was based. I think there was a song. Sorry, there was a song I think called Beverly Craven. I think, and I'm sure it was. In the song, there's a lot where she's like that breath intake. So it's why we kind of call it really awful. It was almost like she had asthma, because it was like, why is there so much intake of breath in this song? So it was like she had that. So that was that. But anyway, the wisdom of
kind of way of finding yourself, isn't it?
I can't think of a name. That sounds like a name. Let's just do that. Bev's Asthma.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't think.
Did you write any originals?
Yeah, of course. But,
Did you?
I mean, I bet they were outstanding. But,
I bet you can remember a little bit though, right?
No, I don't know. My mate might be able to. She's got a bit of memory for this stuff.
Normally the chorus.
Coming up on playing,
Bev's Asthma.
Some people have find it hard to learn slapping.
Yes.
Oh, is that the?
Yeah,
How did you?
I did have bass lessons, and I can do it, but I don't. For me, I don't really like. I don't like this. I don't mind on the top 2 strings.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. That sounds nice to me. The bottom 2, for me, it loses all the guts, and I don't really like it. I've done it a bit. There's bits where I'll do it. But I don't. It's one of the things for me that, and I like it with other people. Obviously, like Larry Graham and all that. It's great. It's amazing. But for me, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit. I like the kind of. I really like a
kind of groovy.
Yeah, I like
person.
my favourite bass player would be like Bernard Edwards from Chic, and that kind of just like quite classic thing. Yeah. So
What kind of range of music do you think jazz plays a long way towards your career? Or?
Good point. I know, like Paloma started off she was doing a lot of like jazz and blues covers and all that kind of stuff. I think for me it's definitely like funk. So I got into, back to the thing, I'd kind of got into Nirvana, so I started playing guitar and bass, and then kind of found I was playing less guitar and much more bass. Yeah. And then I joined a rock band in Norwich, which felt like the big time. A few
rock
gigs.
Band.
And then I kind of, I think it was about the time when Kurt Cobain killed himself. Because I was so into that music, obviously all the rest of the bands on that scene. Yeah. And lots of other stuff, like Happy Mondays and all that, or whatever was around at that kind of, early to mid 90s or early mid. Anyway, but then when that happened, I was just like so distraught. Because I didn't understand it. I was 14. I didn't get why he would do that, and like this music's amazing, but why, and I didn't understand, and then I kind of just went like, I think my friend, because Nirvana had covered Man Who Sold the World, David Bowie song on their Unplugged, and my friend, that's one of my favourites.
David Bowie.
But because I was into that, a friend of mine, his parents had an enormous music collection, and he was just like, oh, Andrea, if you like that Man Who Sold the World song, check this out, and gave me Ziggy Stardust, The Spiders from Mars, Rise and Fall Of album. Yeah. And I put that on, and I remember just listening through once and thinking, no, that's okay, I'm going to put that on again. And the second time I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, this is the best music I've ever heard.
I like the way she tells the story. It's okay, that's okay.
Yeah. So it just changed.
It just changed because I was already, like, I couldn't listen to Nirvana after that anyway, but I'd started to, so I'd got into David Bowie, and then because of that era of Bowie, I was like listening to other music from the 70s, which inevitably was like lots of funk, and then acid jazz was starting. So then from all the acid jazz bands, I kind of like got into I like this band called Corduroy. They were good, but then it's like, again, my like more knowledgeable musical mates would be like, well, if you like them, listen to Curtis Mayfield.
And then I'm listening to
Curtis Mayfield. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Mayfield, amazing.
He's just it's like all those lines are just so good. And then I really got into like funk and soul. I think that's my kind of go-to music on bass, more than jazz. I was never much of a jazzer, but I've done it. So I kind of did a bit at college, and then I kind of taught myself. I've got a double bass upstairs, and it's kind of a thing of like, I'm going to learn this music. But for me, that what I like playing is actually on double bass is like. Things like John Martin, like his bass player Danny Thompson, like that. I just find jazz walking bass lines, and apologies if there's any jazz bass players, but I find the walking lines are a bit boring. Do you? To play, it's a bit boring, and I love like.
Really?
Yeah. What's the challenge with playing a double bass? Is it much more challenging?
It's just bigger, and the technique is totally different.
Are they're literally double strings.
No,
What is it?
4 strings.
I've no idea. I'm literally
it's the same as electric bass, but it
doesn't have frets, isn't it?
There's no frets.
Yeah.
So again, so you haven't got that. You need to really know where you have to be quite accurate when you're putting your hand. Yeah. And it's just bigger. You have to. It's like the strings are a lot
thicker.
They're thicker and.
My son plays double bass.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. He's double bass player. Yeah,
I mean it's a beautiful instrument, but I prefer like things where it's singing a bit more, and I'm just I don't know I love jazz, but I find that with a lot of funk and soul, I hear the bass line kind of first, or it's kind of the dominant thing that I'll hear, and I think as well, looking back, when I was a kid, if I think of a lot of songs that I used to really love, I would focus quite a bit on the bass line, but I didn't realise at the time.
I didn't know, It's so like that's what was getting you.
Like there's a song there's lots of songs that I've heard since. I remember I loved this song when I was little, and I'm hearing I remember attaching to that. So I think that was always something that just frequency just massively appealed to me. But obviously, and I can hear everything else, but so I think that's why I kind of gravitated towards that as well. But I was never, but I find with jazz as well that I'll tend to pay more attention to the clarinet or the sax or something else. I'm not drawn to bass. Not in jazz.
That's crazy.
I'm not being offensive because it's really important, and I know some amazing jazz players that I can't do what they do. I literally can't do what they do, and they're incredible. But it's not that doesn't really get me. It's like it's like, can we play?
Well, everyone's got taste though.
But Everybody Dance by Chic, and I'm like, let's go.
Definitely.
That's cool. That sounds nice. But you got your taste, and
so
you love jazz music.
I love soul.
It's soul
music.
This is it.
I love soul.
How bassy are Paloma Faith's songs when you're playing?
A lot when I'm on it.
Yes. I'm just thinking, are there many songs where you don't need to play, or do you have to do something else? Or
this is it depends on it depends, like, I think there's quite a trend at the minute for music to be, it's kind of very subby, and there's a lot of like the kind of modern pop at the minute tends to, and I don't know if this is because it works for listening on phones or TikTok or something, but I find that what I would say is quite a pure kind of bass sound, we're talking the Curtis Mayfields or the whatever.
Give us a tune, man.
It's like
give us one tune, man.
But it's like I find that is kind of slightly missing, and then it's for maybe like a lower octave sub bass lines. But then what will happen with the Paloma gig is maybe someone else will play that lower line, and then I'll maybe double it on electric bass. Or some of them are really obvious bass lines, like that was played on an electric bass. Sometimes it's played on a synth. So and then we just work it out in rehearsals of whether it sounds better on the synth or if it's actually
it's
some
too
of it,
much
it's sometimes I'll just play it on electric because that just fits the thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that a lot of people have said as well, like live, it's quite different to the album, which is something that I think Paloma's always kind of wanted for the live to be
same
live, not like we're in, not which doesn't. I mean, obviously we're playing the songs in the album, and there's we do like certain different arrangements, or maybe we'll extend it. But I know, like, she's always felt very strongly that it should sound like a band, so you're getting a different experience.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to just go to a gig.
I prefer that. I prefer anything. I don't want it to sound from.
Like
it's
the
from the
record,
CD.
you may as well just stay at home, save your money.
Exactly.
Because
it's got to be different, hasn't it?
Kind of things that you arrange with your band members.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to do a transpose. You want to.
Oh yeah, that's all. Yeah.
You want to preach. Bring a preach in there.
Like you say, you want to lengthen the song, or
that's it.
You can just play around with it like that with your live.
Get the oldest stop 1, 2, 3, bang on.
Yeah.
Then look at it. Let's go.
Yeah, just keep going a bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is a different experience.
It is good, and it's good. Yeah, like those things. We're always doing it as a band, like, as well. It'll just be like like the drummer does something, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I like to look, and they're like, and then they
keep doing it.
That sounds cool.
Nice.
And automatically, just a certain groove will come up with the same relating.
That should do a different feel, and I'm just like, I heard that. It's nice to have that stuff. It's good. I like that.
Like you say,
freedom.
you don't get that when it's pre-recorded.
And that's the thing. It's like, and I think we all, because it's the thing, you want to have a bit of. Obviously, you can't. It's not like a complete free improvisation.
Oh no!
But it's
you've got to stick to times.
But it's like, I think that's the excitement, and I think that's why that's kind of part of the buzz for me as well. Is basically, I think that I think I missed that in lockdown of not having, like, I could practice and learn songs, but I really missed not having that.
How did you cope on lockdown?
Really.
No, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I basically coped by, I like doing quizzes. I love pub quizzes.
Oh, really?
I launched into hosting quizzes. I was literally doing pretty much every night. I think I was doing a matinee on a Sunday.
So your general knowledge must be amazing.
It's all right. It's still, it definitely got better, but it was, I think I was like, almost like, right, well, if there's no gigs, then I'm just going to I'll do something. And I still played, but it wasn't, I just missed that. I missed that interaction. I remember we had, I think the first year of lockdown, we had one gig, and it was with one of the singers, and basically that I worked with a lot. She's brilliant, Baby Soul, and the keyboard, and again the piano player from Paloma's band. And so it was, and then me on bass. And it was a festival that was, it was set in, like, they got away with it because it was like such a big space. They hardly had any people, and it was completely outdoor. And it was the summer. It was freezing though. It was absolutely freezing. We
Good old England.
Yeah, we couldn't have a dressing room, so we had to COVID test before we got in the car. There was the keys player drove, me and the singer were in the car. Our dressing room was literally like, we just like, Peter, just look away. We're going to get changed in the car, like a normal sized car.
But that's good times. That's good fun, isn't it?
No, but
for you, you take what you get at that point.
And
let's just do a gig.
Literally, it felt like the best gig because it was like we're actually getting to play.
Playing.
It's freezing. We ended up like the outfits went out the window because we were in like scarves
Whatever.
with our coats on. Like, it looked like raggle taggle, but and everyone was just, because it was the first time they could. I think that was the only gig we did that.
First time what?
Huh?
Your first time what? Naked?
What? No, you've got it. Oh man, you've got a dirty mind. No, I'm not high-fiving that.
I like that.
Always.
She said, just for playing, and then first time naked.
That would be quite a high fee. I'd have my prices.
Is there any fee, to be fair? Is there any fee?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a price. So
really?
All got a price. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going $1 million.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely do it for that.
500,000?
Yeah.
Easy.
You might get some offers.
Christ.
250,000.
My only fan. No. Yeah. Oh, who am I kidding? Look, I'm still
200.
I've only just recovered since lockdown, you know, like financially. It's just like
oh my God,
barely.
it's hard though.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the thing is as well, like, because so when I'm not doing so basically 2015 we'd had a big touring with Paloma, and we ended up doing but basically we were just doing like the last gig of the tour. It was like summer festivals, and then I think our singer and guitarist were like, what are you going to do? And just chatting and just being like, I don't know what I'm going to do next. And they had the idea, they were like, why don't we make a function band?
Is this
so
the Faith? Yeah.
So like when we're not touring, we can just, you know, we'll make it like, we'll say that we're Paloma's band, and we'll just come and we'll do weddings, corporates, parties.
So are you singing Paloma's songs, or
no? We could do, but we basically do 60s Motown, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. But all the good songs that we like.
Yeah.
We've got Destiny's Child,
Destiny's Child.
We've got like a independent women survivor.
Oh,
she's a fan.
Yeah, I love Beyonce.
Oh yeah, we do Crazy in Love as well.
Wow.
But any song that we think's good, basically.
Yeah.
Everybody Dance Chic, that's in there, but also just Freed from Desire goes down so well as well.
Absolutely. Na 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 na.
So it's basically just hits.
It's like a football song recently, so people are loving it now, aren't they?
Yeah. But we just want to basically do like a set full of music. Yeah, that people are going to know, that they're going to dance, and we have such a good time. So basically they came up with the idea, and it got to like we were emailing each other, and then nothing was happening, and I just said, look, okay, right, I'm going to manage it then. I'll do it. If I tell you where to be, will you be there? And they were like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, I don't know, I've never run a function band. Where do we start? Right, let's look at some other bands' websites. Right, they've got a video. Right, we need a video.
Let's get a video. Yeah.
And then I was like, right, I'll call a favour. I've got people who've got like studios, and then one of the band had an idea, like we'll do like a, you know, we'll just be in black and white, and it'll be Infinity Cove, and it'll be, you know, and just thinking up all these ideas. So I was like, right, let's,
beautiful.
You know,
so you got your promo stuff.
Yeah, so like calling in a favour. We've got a friend who was they kind of make films. So we were like, can you come and do it? When we get paid from our first gig, we'll pay you back, but we can't pay you yet. Yeah. So it was all like that, and then we kind of Paloma also said, because obviously we've said like if we've got, you know, we'll always prioritise your gigs, but she said
you've got to keep going.
Yeah, and she was like, let me know when you're ready. When you're ready, when the website's ready to go, and I'll do a tweet. So this was like 2015.
Oh,
she
basically in.
Yeah,
she's plugged it in.
I hit like live on the website, and we'd obviously got the video, edited it, and everything else. And I was like, hit live on the website, and she was like, okay, this is my band, go hire them, they're amazing.
Wow.
And all my emails just went ping,
ping, ping, ping, ping,
ping, ping. It was like about 60, I think.
Wow.
And some of them were crazy. They were like, will you come to Manchester for my birthday? I can pay your train fare. And it's like, no, sorry. But then we got some like proper weddings.
But then you're getting like big corporate
and we did and then we did a gig. We did a corporate gig at the Roundhouse. So again, it was like, let's film that.
Wow.
So we've got
what an amazing theatre as well.
And then we kind of, so it just all went from there. But the idea was just like, so in between, you know, and Paloma, because I think she was going to have a baby then and would have written the next album. So we knew we had at least a year and a half, 2 years without any gigs with her. And it's that thing where it's all the perpetual thing with a musician. It's fine when you're getting all the phone calls, but when that's gone, and then you're like,
you still need to survive.
If anyone, you know, it's like, does anyone need a bass player? It's like, you know, like, no,
you don't want to be desperate. You want to be like taken over.
But the good thing is, if she plugged you in, she's not a gatekeeper. She don't keep, it's like if she's a lead singer and everything, and then she got no gigs. Yeah, she say, okay.
Yeah,
no one is doing nothing without me.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure some people are like that.
A lot of musicians. They
very
don't
controlling.
Plug you in. They don't plug you in. Yeah, they're gatekeepers.
Yeah,
they don't fill you in.
Yeah,
but for her to say, you know what, let me know.
She's always been very like, she's always kind of very, I don't know, like, just like help it, plug in people and like whatever she can.
But you're free, aren't you? You're to be. You've got to earn money. You've got to earn a living, and she understands that.
But it's not. It's cool though, because it just means that we've got we pretty much now, ever since then, every year we've got enough gigs so that if you had nothing else, you're kind of the bills are paid.
Something.
Yeah,
definitely.
So pay big shout out to her.
Yeah, amazing.
Come on, shout out to Paloma.
Faithx.com. Anyone needs a wedding party,
anyone,
Faithx at faithx.com.
Brilliant. Well, I've got a birthday coming up.
But how much do you charge though?
Depends.
All right.
Oh, okay. I know.
I want to know.
Well, it depends on the lineup. We go out in different lineups, different playing durations.
Right.
Do you need a PA? So miss me, I'll give you a quote.
The cheapest price now.
No, I'm not saying.
No.
It depends, because we can do a four-piece band with one thing. Because normally, the three backing vocalists become either they'll share the part, or one person will be lead and the other two are backing vocalists, and then they'll swap round who does lead and sometimes share the whole song. So we can, there's lots of lineups.
And the vocalists are, wow, they're exceptional. They are so good.
I wouldn't afford them, isn't it?
Maybe not.
I have to say as well, you do get what you pay for. So
it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Oh, man.
Definitely.
We're going to Thetford Forest, isn't it?
That would be amazing.
I want to come and see you.
Yeah.
What's the date? What's the Thetford Forest date? Because we're definitely not getting to Glastonbury, because that's just to get a ticket to Glastonbury is just wow, impossible.
I think it's the 27th
of June.
Yeah,
is it?
I need my phone. It's in my calendar.
Okay, let's do that.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah.
Your phone. 20.
I've got a name I wanted to remember, because I wanted to ask you something, but I forgot the name of this book. What's this book?
MILF?
No, not MILF. There was a book.
That's her new book that's out.
Oh no, this was a book that was written, an American novel that was written, and then you created a band name. Is this right? Have I got this right? So there was a band. I get this. I write these things down. I'm like, what did I do with this information? But there was a band that you created. Was it with like a? Sorry if you don't want me to say it. There's an ex-partner, and his dad was it?
Oh yeah,
no. What was the novel? The sexual
Port Noise Complaint.
Noise, yeah.
Port Noise Complaint.
Because this novel was written.
Oh yeah, there's a controversial
graphic sexual content.
It involves liver and someone on their own. Anyway,
but you named a band after this.
I don't know about this.
Basically there was I think it was like a psychologist or something that wrote this book about an interaction they'd had.
Roth, I think,
had an interaction with one of their clients or something they were seeing. And you named a band.
Well, so basically, we're not doing that anymore. But it was my ex Adrian Cox. He's a clarinet and sax player, and we're friends. It's all cool.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So it was the guitarist from Paloma's band, Sam Lewis, and his dad was on vocals. Yeah. And his dad was kind of very gravelly. And just I don't know, it's kind of like we did a few Tom Waits covers, which his voice lent itself very well to.
Yeah.
And his dad was like a songwriter, and Adrian knew him from busking around in London. Like they'd already before, like they'd seen him for years of just doing this thing and playing gigs as well. Not just anyway. So we made this band, and because everybody wrote their own songs and. So Sam's dad had lots of songs, and he had his lyric book from like the 60s from when he was writing lyrics, and it was so cool. And then Sam had a few, Adrian had a few. I think we did one together, and it was just it was wonderful. Now unfortunately his dad's not so well now, so I don't think that's gonna. I think that's. But it was I'm so pleased that we did it. But we were thinking of a band name.
Did you perform?
Yeah, we did a few gigs. I've got videos. So it was a really, really lovely thing to do, and And I think, and again, it's like, I don't think any of us particularly thought we were going to like, you know, get a record deal and make our fortune.
But you just loved it.
It was just, it was just one of those things. And it was, we did a few gigs, and it was just, made an album.
Yeah.
So it was just lovely. So I think.
Why the name though? Why the name?
So I don't know. I actually don't know. I think his dad came up with it. It was just because it sounded nice. He liked the
The
sound.
name.
You would
just
never link
purely
it.
Portnoy's Complaint. So the novel, it's spelled.
catchy,
So
though.
Portnoy is is a character, and it's his complaint. So Portnoy's like Portnoy apostrophe S, possessive. So Portnoy's the complaint of Portnoy. When he said it, so he was like, you know what, I've got a few names running. He's like, it's a book, it's called Portnoy's Complaint. I just like how that sounds. And I was like, yeah, Portnoy's Complaint. But I in my head, I've got synesthesia, so I see like colour. I've got like the colours and numbers, and when people talk or when I'm listening to anything, everything's like coloured subtitles.
Yeah.
So in my head, so I saw it as port, as in the port of Lowestoft, noise, a noisy sound, and then complaint. So then, so I kind of wrote it down like that, and we kind of just went with that.
Love
that was
that.
it.
Beautiful.
But
Love
I don't know. It was literally just because it
yeah.
sounded nice, and then. Later on, I mean, there was only one. I think the novel there's a controversial scene rather than it being of graphic sexual nature.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I kind of like I kind of looked into it just to make sure it wasn't completely horrendous.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
that'll be
that'll
alright.
be fine.
That'll be alright.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you
We'll
what.
get away with that.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
We gotta break it down.
Go on.
We gotta break it down. We gotta bring the game.
Okay, go on.
We gotta bring the game. We got a game for you.
Okay, go on then.
We wanna test
Go
your
on then.
skills
Okay.
on the bass.
Yeah, this is not my forte.
Okay. What am I
As you
doing?
may have noticed.
Right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna test it out. We're gonna a professional bass player.
Okay.
Right. I'm not a bass player.
Okay.
I don't know how to play bass, but I love the bass. I think bass is the sexiest instrument.
Yeah.
The groove and everything.
It's with the
Yeah, yeah,
saxophone somewhere there.
But what I want to say is, who is the greatest? I've got a couple of names here
Okay.
of all times.
Okay.
You gotta pick one.
Okay, go on then.
Do you wanna do it? Or?
No, you do it.
you
Definitely.
sure?
You're going to know the names better than I am.
Okay.
100%.
Right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You sure?
Yeah.
I don't trust you.
I trust you.
Me neither. No, go on.
Right. I got a couple of names.
Okay.
Just pick one.
Yeah.
The old time bass player.
Okay, go on then.
Right. I would go with Paul McCartney against Prince.
Oh, my God.
Oh no, I don't like this game anymore. I met Paul McCartney as well, actually. I've name dropped for a while. Here she goes again. Yeah. We did. So this was another bit. I played for Kate Nash on Jules Holland.
Oh, my fingertips are holding onto.
So my an ex, also a friend. I've got form of staying friends with my exes.
That's brilliant.
Unless they were dicks,
Which
you know
people are.
So
You know who you are.
Shout out to them. No high five now.
The one who's like messaging me on Facebook and hasn't got a reply, that's you.
you.
Anyway, so my boyfriend at the time, he was like her drum tech and like doing different bits, and I'd kind of met her, and there was one song that she was doing. She was doing Jules Holland Hootenanny, and there was one song.
Oh, I love Jules Holland.
Yeah, it was.
Love
I've
it.
never done TV. I've done Ladytron.
Hootenanny, as in the New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Do you know? My dream to go to that. If anyone wants to take me, if you want to take me, just I'm there. I am there.
I break the illusion. It's pre-recorded. But anyway,
Is it?
Yeah. You don't do it on New Year's
I'll still
Eve.
go.
Yeah.
The musician, the talent is unreal.
It's recorded as one though. Like what you're
I
seeing.
always imagine the real the fear when you're waiting for that camera to pan round to you, and then you have to just start. I just imagine that.
The
it's
live.
just like
We've done the live one with Paloma, and I don't even know how I did that.
kept composed because you've literally
You
got
just go like a robot. Your adrenaline's going. It's kind of the same as Glastonbury, or any big gig. You know, it's like the adrenaline's going so much that I think you almost become slightly like not robotic, but you have to like. for me, it's like just close off all of that, all of those thoughts, and just stay completely focused. This is what I mean by robotic. It's like all I'm doing, I'm playing bass. Like,
I'm just doing what I'm good at. That's my focus.
Because then you don't have time for nerves, or you can't think about it. Even if you think I'm not going to be nervous, that then can sometimes put the idea of nervousness in your head. So
just don't say the word.
For me, it's like it's just totally not that. But anyway, so Paul, it was the first TV I'd done, and basically, so my ex called me and he was like, or boyfriend at the time, and he was like, Kate needs someone for this one song because she wants 2 guitars, so her bass player is going to play guitar. And he was like, do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then he was like, the manager said, what are you doing now? I'm like, well, nothing. He's like, can you come to rehearsal? So I literally learned the song in the car.
Oh,
of
really?
course. like you do.
And then just turned
in true Andrea fashion.
And I was like, and this because obviously I was not going to say no. So I was just like, yes, I can do
Opportunities,
and
take them.
Sometimes they come once.
Yeah.
But but that was that. I'd never done TV before. It was madness. It was great. And then I remember we had release forms. I remember calling my dad and I was just like, Dad, I've got I'm not a member of the MU. Like, can you join me up? They've just asked for my MU number for the release forms for TV.
Yeah.
Actually, you might not need one, but anyway, at the time, and he's like, yeah, I'm on it, and I'm like, thanks, because I'd not done anything like that, so I didn't really. Anyway, and basically, so we did that and did the show. And that was the thing. Paul McCartney was doing it as well. Oh, so he's watching.
You the names.
So again,
so
I've been
no pressure
by both of those people. Those people have both seen me play.
And which was the most nerve-wracking?
Prince, 100%. Yeah. So I don't know if that
took you by surprise. Okay,
no, we want to know.
No, but I didn't. But Paul McCartney's obviously sat there, and then afterwards he comes up and he goes. He shook my hand. He had very smooth hands. Wow. And he was like, oh, lovely bass playing. And I just remember thinking, I don't even know what I said, probably something ridiculous like you too.
But that is another band. So
I just literally, I was just so shocked. Because I don't think it wasn't that bad, but it was as cringe as that. Yeah. And also Madness were on it, and I met their bass player, and we were in the
Madness.
They were kind of. We had a drink in the bar upstairs.
That must have been crazy.
And,
that is absolutely
the bass player came up to me and we were just having a chat, and he was like, oh, so how long have you been playing, and and I was chatting and a bit, and then I was like, oh, what about you? And he was like, well, when Madness formed, and I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah.
Just a little while then.
Yeah, it was like, how did you start out? Well, we made Madness as style,
That's all right.
But yeah, that was all madness. But yeah, so I think that I'm going to have to say, just on that basis, I would guess
of how you felt.
Prince, but Paul McCartney's bass lines are incredible. So
right. So who are we going with?
Well, I think we decided Prince because he was more intimidating.
I wanted to hear that.
Okay.
I wanted to hear. So Prince.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
It doesn't mean you're underappreciating. Yeah.
But I think I play probably I think I'd play more like McCartney because Prince was more the slap stuff.
Yeah.
So I think play in terms of who would
your
I
style.
Play more like, then I'd prefer to play more like McCartney.
I think we'll leave it there.
Okay.
Move on.
Right. Stanley Clarke.
Yeah.
Or Nathan East.
Again, I'd probably say Nathan East, but neither of those are particularly my. But they're amazing. Probably Nathan East.
I think they come from a Jersey side, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. A bit more of that time, but amazing. But yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, this is tough choices.
Shout out to you. The way you play the bass, man.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I'd sit down and think about, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Go next.
Marcus Miller.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll know this one. Lagos Big Fingers.
Oh, I don't know.
So why don't you compare Marcus with Sting then? Because you know Sting.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got to go Marcus Miller on ability really of playing. But then Sting's, he's got his songwriting though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough choice. I can't decide.
You can't decide.
No.
So
I'll go Marcus Miller.
You go Marcus.
I guess, yeah.
Right, give you a reason.
Bit more. See, this is difficult because they're very different players.
Yeah.
Dare I say technical ability?
Okay. Right. Technical ability. That's fair enough, isn't it?
Just like that. Sting is a shit bass player.
No, you haven't. Yeah. You're not saying this shit. You're just saying you have a preference. That's fine.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Andrea Goldsworthy.
Yeah.
Goldsworthy
versus
Richard Bonner.
Who's Richard Bonner?
Oh, yeah. See, I told you.
Richard
it's because he's South African. I knew it. You're going to have to give some examples. Or is she going to have to Google him?
Some songs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say him because my ego is never going to say me. So let's just go with that.
All right.
Okay.
So I'll go with Andrea. Which is you.
I'll go with Andrea. No, come on.
Oh, man.
Of course, you needed to borrow a bass.
So, yeah, I had to borrow a bass for a Faith X gig because all my gear is with the Paloma stuff on the way to the next, like in a truck on the way to the next gig, and I had a gig here. Anyway, complicated. I didn't have, it was too much to fly with it, and I had too much. Anyway, so I thought I'll just borrow a bass locally. So I just called a lot of people, and basically, there was so someone said, "Have you heard of a guy called Jimmy Clark?" And I'm like, no. And then I called him up. I just said, "Oh look," I just told him it. You know, I play for Paloma, so I'm good. I'll look after it. I'm not going to trash your bass. And he's like, yeah, sure, you can borrow one. He's like, I've got a 77 Precision. I've got a 92 Music Man. I've also got this. I'm like, yeah, any of that, all amazing. And I went round there, and it just turns out. So he plays for Gloria Gaynor. He's always lived in Lowestoft. He's like a year younger than me. Yeah. He plays. His son Gloria Gaynor has toured with like Il Divo, like loads of stuff. He's been in with Gloria Gaynor 16 years, so the same amount of time that I've been with Paloma. And basically we found out we both had the same bass teacher here that taught us the same 3 songs. So I was like, substitute the Who, and he was like, yeah. So we just were like,
crazy.
Then basically, then we had the same teacher in London, right? Like this guy who wrote like this bass book, and he was like, oh yeah, I had a few lessons before, so I was like, I know, like, so I went to him for a couple of lessons when I was at that? I know. And then I was just saying what bands I was in, and like, do you know this person? And then he said, oh no, I played for like the youth. There was like a youth jazz orchestra. Yeah. And with this singer called Sheila White, I did that for a bit, and he was like, yeah, someone left, and he was like, was that you? And I'm like, yeah. They were like, someone did one.
Took your place.
Yeah. So I didn't know that. So it was like, I think they did one gig and then they left. And I was like, and he was like, was that you? And I'm like, yeah, that was me. So it's just mad. I just never knew.
Always connections.
I always find that it's a weird one with bass players. I think we're like drummers seem to all know each other, but a lot of bass players seem to be like this kind of not as. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's just
not the same community. Maybe.
Yeah, but there is, and then you're like, and then it's not like I don't know. I'll have to think about this. I'll get my theory together. Maybe it's just me, and I'm a bit weird, but I don't know. But yeah, I feel like it's. But yeah, because he didn't know about me either. So it kind of, or maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
And you think this teacher would be displaying you all you guys on his wall,
maybe
going, look. Yeah. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's because of me and these 3 songs.
My old college put something up at my music college, but they got it wrong, and it really annoyed me. It was like, famous alumni, and then they put all this wrong information. I was like, no.
What about schools you've been to? That have they got your?
Well, I went to Benjamin. I don't think so. Funnily, I went to Benjamin Britten High School, and it's now I think it's like an academy now.
Yeah, a lot of schools are academies.
Music. Yeah, I think they've got a proper music department. When I was there, and I don't remember this teacher, but you know, considering it's the Benjamin Britten High School, so I was always very good academically, and just being a bit of a geek, I suppose. But I was good academically at most subjects, and apart from the ones I thought were food technology, I thought was absolutely ridiculous. We had to do a flow chart for making pasta, which I just thought was an absolute waste of time. But anyway, but in my wisdom as a 12-year-old, I decided to do German and media studies based on, I don't know, whatever I thought as a 12-year-old. And I didn't do music for my elected GCSE.
Right.
So, and then by the time I started, I think, I did my GCSEs, hadn't got music GCSE. When I started to really get into music, I was like, I'd like to do an A-level. If I can do an A-level, can I do A-level music? Because I'm really, which actually might have been inappropriate because it'd be a lot of classical stuff that that's not really my world. But anyway, and I remember going to the teacher and saying, could I join I'm doing A-levels, but can I at least join the GCSE class, and sit in with them, and obviously I'll
start
probably
fresh, basically.
can I just get my music GCSE,
and
then I can do my A-level later, and then and he was like, no, that's not possible, and I'm like, but this is the Benjamin Britten High School, can I not do a GCSE in music here? And they were just like, he was like, no, that's not possible. It's just so like cut
so you
off.
were held back.
So
actually.
No, because then I kind of had private. I got round it anyway, and I think I don't even know what at the time I wanted to do. I think I was starting to think I might like to go to music college, but knew I would have to have a thing. But that did actually kind of, I think, changed me a little bit. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to study music then. I'll keep having like private lessons. That luckily, my parents could afford, which I was very lucky in that sense.
Definitely.
Which is good for them to support you as well, you know?
Yeah, they were very supportive of that. We'll get to that, but so then I went to do I was going to do psychology. I applied. I didn't know. I did my A-levels was psychology, so I thought I'm going to do. I know I'll do a psychology degree.
From German.
Exactly. Media studies.
German media. I tell you what.
I'm going to do A-level psychology, and I was like, that was my
see
favourite.
the link.
Yeah, it was my favourite.
It's like our conversation, to be fair.
Exactly.
But this is where I've got puzzled as well.
ADHD, everyone. Hi. No, but basically, I think, so anyway, I went, I thought, I'll do a degree in psychology. I got my A-levels. I liked that A-level. Didn't really want to particularly do any kind of job. I just thought I'm good at that, so I'll do it. So I got into London School of Economics, University College London, loads of good universities, and then I basically I had a gap year in Mexico, and then while I was there, I kind of met so many musicians, and I had this moment of just being like, all I want to do is music.
This is why we want to talk about Mexico.
Why Mexico?
Why?
This is a crazy place to go. Out of all the choices of places in the world,
you wouldn't really know.
I'm going to go to Mexico. Did you go on your own?
No, me and my friend went. So but I had this moment, and when I was
just
there,
two of you.
Yeah, just two of us. So
Mexico is scary. It's a scary country, though.
Can be, I guess.
Yeah.
I think we were fearless. I think that there's the drug cartel stuff is mainly on the border. We were fine. We were going right south. We were all right.
We were staying right by it.
Yeah, we're cool. Yeah, we just didn't go to the drug cartel.
No. Can you imagine British girls going to Mexico
back in the day?
Back in the day, they would go crazy.
1998. I think I did send my parents a bit. But also, my dad, because I had some friends who were going to do more worthy things like teaching English in Japan, and me and my friend were just like, should we just go and see what happens? I was like, yeah, let's just do that. So we'd been working, she'd worked at Bernard Matthews, I got lucky packing waffles at Birdside.
Wow. Oh,
so that was the better
brilliant
job. It was better because you didn't have to worry about all the chicken.
I worked in a chicken factory.
I was,
you did.
This is it. It was. There's a lot of opportunities if you need to earn money.
Yeah.
But I got lucky. I was packing waffles.
That's a bit better.
Sometimes
potatoes, chickens.
Yeah. Because I've got massive hands as well, so I could do 5 waffles in a
brilliant
stack.
And now there'll be machines for that.
Exactly.
But at the time you got really, really good at that.
5 stack on the
good,
waffles.
Practice for the hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Later on.
Get RSI from Bird.
Oh,
no. But yeah, so we kind of I'd earned enough money that was supposed to be for university, and then but also because we're living with our parents. I mean, and also
Save.
Birdseye at the time was £10 an hour. That's pretty
amazing.
good. Back in 1998.
Jesus.
Where? 1998.
In 1998, what was I?
Birdseye was £10 an hour.
No, I wasn't earning that. I was working in a factory packing fruit.
Yeah,
That's
the others
good
were about
money.
£3.50. I lucked out. with
Wow.
That was good money.
That's insane money.
At the time,
That's not far off what people get now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You were rich.
I know.
Woo!
It's like, yeah, let's go to Mexico. Da-da-da.
Yeah.
You knew someone there.
Actually, both of my parents had worked there back in the day.
Had they? So you knew where to go.
I think I got a
You had the stories.
nepotism.
Yeah,
See, that's what I mean. You know, like
Yeah.
people like Lily Allen, they had like their, you know, Keith Allen. They were like, but me, no, I got Birdseye. I got Waffles. This is it.
Love that.
Nepotism
Love
at its
that.
finest.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Not that obviously saying Lily Allen hasn't worked very
No,
hard, but
she has.
Yeah. But yeah, there's that was my connections. But
Yeah.
So I've
Do you
gone
in Mexico
so,
though?
So basically, yes, we thought we just went for an adventure.
You didn't
so
work.
We just,
You weren't going to work there.
no, because I'll risk
Save the money.
Money bags.
Yeah.
I've been packing waffles. I didn't need to. But we kind of
Cool.
lived cheaply. We went for about 5 months, and we kind of budgeted. We had enough money to and we were staying in really cheap hotels.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised we didn't come back with it. God no, I'd
Crazy
spent months
infections and stuff.
Like,
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
there was so many places. We'd just pick the room that didn't have a window.
Resilient though. You're
Yeah.
young. You bounce back.
Yeah, you don't.
Now
yeah,
we'd be so
You just
sick.
want to be
I'd just be like,
free
it's
as well.
Premier in minimum, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
I had food poisoning and all sorts now. But
yeah, we'd basically just turn up somewhere, go to the town, the Zocalo is the city. Most cities had a square, and we'd just go and park ourselves there, have a coffee or some drinks, and then I don't know how we did it, but we just would end up meeting musicians, or we'd go to a gig and then get chatting to the musicians, and I was like, well, I play bass and my friend sings, so we'd just chat, and then we'd kind of befriend these people and play, we'd just have jams with them, and we went if they were doing a gig, we'd go with them to their gig, and we would just hang out, and people were very
welcoming?
Yeah, really welcoming. I think Mexico's culturally it's I think it's super friendly. I think they're very respectful as well. I think there's a culture that's very respectful of women, almost, kind of.
Really?
Yeah, I think there is a macho culture, but the people that we met were very much not of that. There is, I guess, with anywhere, there's always a kind of,
I know.
But I think people were very respectful.
I know what they were drinking.
Yeah.
Tequila played a long place.
No, a couple of Coronas, if that. No, we just had an adventure, and we'd kind of stay somewhere for maybe a month, and then we'd be we're going to go somewhere else, and thanks, see you later.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was an amazing time. And I think when I was there, again going back, I still had this thing I want to study music.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's lots that I don't know, and I want to know this stuff. And I found in a secondhand bookshop, I found this music theory workbook. So I bought that, and I remember we went to one place that was on the beach, and I'm not very good at sitting around doing nothing anyway. And I had this book, and I was I found it, and I was studying. I was learning all the theory that I could, because I'd only done bits at through piano lessons. So I taught myself this thing, and I was getting more and more in this idea. And a friend that I'd made out in Mexico just said, you have to I was all I want to do is music, and he was like, but I'm supposed to be going to study psychology, and I don't know what I'm doing. And he was like, well, you have to fight for I remember him so clearly saying, you have to fight for your feelings. Yeah. If you want to do this, you have to go for it. And I was like, that's it. I'm not going to psych. I'm going to go back. And then I studied again. I had some kind of, a lot of it was self-taught, but I kind of got, I had some lessons and did some bass grades, so I got my grade 8, so that then I could get into music college. But
because you need those.
So but I took another year again, went back to Birdseye,
Did you
earn more money, and then so I actually took 2 years out, which is really unusual anyway, I think. And so, but it was because the first year was just supposed to be Mexico, go off, that's normal, and then I was like, I'm not doing that. So I applied for all these music colleges, did the audition at some point, I guess in don't know when they did it, spring, and then then the following September I went to music college. Yeah. So that was that.
And your connection in Mexico, this guy, was it a guy or a girl? Said, do you know? Okay.
Anyway, I was young.
Yeah.
Good
So
time.
you don't have a connection with this person
Who
anymore.
is this guy? Who is this guy?
I'm just thinking, can you reach out and say, do you know what? Thank you.
Yeah, I could probably find him on social media.
Who is this guy, though?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? The connection with?
I was like a boyfriend at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I said friend.
Everybody wanted you blanking me.
I've mentioned been a lot of ex talk and boyfriend talk. I mean, it's like, you know.
You have to kiss a few frogs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Mum
we've
always said.
We've been there. We've done it.
I'm very happy with my boyfriend right now.
Yes,
beautiful.
good.
Shout out to him.
Yes.
What's his name, though?
Macho.
Shout out to Macho. Macho. We're there.
Podcast near you soon.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I can't remember. I lost my thread now. Maybe
Yeah. So we're back. We're back.
Yeah. So
We're back in the UK.
In the UK, yeah.
Yeah, and then So I taught myself, and again cursed that teacher who didn't let me do the GCSE because it was a lot of work. But I was just very determined. And again, I guess it's the imposter syndrome a bit, because I had like a band before I went to Mexico. I was in like an acid jazz band, so I'd started to learn to play some quite for me at the time, difficult bass lines. I was pushing myself, but I just found I know like that everyone's path's very different, and some people, you know, I've got a lot of friends and they kind of grew up, you know, like playing in church and stuff like that, like gospel stuff. So they were always from like a very young age, like, and that was their kind of path. And then I've got other friends who are more, but mine, I think I was a little bit slightly late to the party in terms of that, you know, but always just been so into it. Yeah, but I just was determined. And I think for me, you know, I think the music college was good in that it really pushed me to learn a lot of things I wouldn't have done. But I think I know a lot of people who just left and just went into doing gigs. And that's fine as well. I don't think I'm any more qualified than someone who just did that, because we got taught so much stuff that I'm never ever going to use. And it was kind of useful to get. It was nice to get a degree. I wanted to do that. I knew that I was capable of getting a degree, so I wanted to.
And you wanted to finish something. You
I
didn't want to just stop. You wanted to complete that.
So I finished it, but then there was a thing of like coming out and being like, well, what next? But for me, it was like I needed a bit of structure in I wasn't like someone who could just move to London and just be like, hi, I'm here. I didn't have that confidence.
To be prepared.
And
to go an extra mile as well. Because you need those connections as well.
Well, this is it. I think music college, that's where I met. So again, back to my friend Drew, who got me the Paloma gig, and back to other friends that, you know, that I happened to be in the pub at the right time for that video that got me the Lady Tongue gig.
Exactly.
So I think that thing could have happened anyway, but I just felt like I had to, I don't know, and I wanted to study because I knew I hadn't, so I thought, what's gonna let me just study and then we'll see what happens.
Giving you an extra edge anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
In your parents, you didn't have like a conflict between your parents fighting, because most of the parents.
Music. God, what are you going to do with music?
No, that's exactly what my dad said. Well, he actually said, "What are you going to do with music, Andrea?"
Don't you need a backup? You need a backup plan.
So I got back. So I got back from Mexico and said, like, right, I'm not going to do psychology. I want to do music. I'm going to go and study music. Dad was like, "What the are you going to do with music, Andrea?" And then I was like, "What am I going to do with psychology?" And he was like, oh yeah, okay, good point. It's psychology and anthropology, actually. And of course, I probably would have had a lovely time, and I probably could have done some. You know, I probably would have stayed in academia, I think. So but I had to. And then my mum was like, being supportive, was like, oh. She can be a music journalist. Like I could hear her from like the kitchen.
Media. Remember when she did that in school? Yeah. She could bring that back. Yeah. She could do it in Germany.
Yeah. Something like that,
I just, my German, I only got a bit of German. I remember nothing now.
You set your dad down and say, Dad, you got to listen to me.
Yeah, and he kind of said, he'd always said, like, he he said, oh, you know, all right. Like, I think he just trusted me and just trusted that I was okay to do it. Yeah.
You never had something like that in African parents. You don't have that.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's different. It's very academic. Like you tell me a lot. It's like you've got to be a doctor or a police officer, or it has to be like a very set or a lawyer. You know, it's got to be these really like high academic.
African parents, they push you.
Yeah.
They push you.
Yeah.
Come on, you're not gonna be a musician. You're not gonna be this. What are you gonna do? Today you're gonna be a teacher. You're gonna be
very different.
Straightforward.
Yeah, mine was very supportive. So I think.
And to be fair, you know, he'd encourage that by getting these things out of the loft for you, and you know, paying for lessons.
I think that was it. I think they just knew that was all I really, because it was the only thing I thought, this is the only thing I want to do with my life is music. That's the only thing I can be sure of, and that is the only thing I could see. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I just had that.
And I guess it wasn't easy as well.
No, I don't. No, because I think I did work quite hard. You know, But I think everyone does though as well. I think anyone. If you.
I think you say that, but some people give up. I think because
this is it. I really persisted as well. I persisted longer than I think, not longer than was sensible, but I definitely did. I think, there was lots of times when I was like, right, I'm just going to...
And that's something you've got to be really proud of, because actually a lot of people don't push that far and they stop too soon, and you think they've got that what if all their life.
I couldn't bear that. I kind of had enough insight to know I wouldn't be able to,
No.
Is that all right to say, are you a session musician?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but it's kind of. But I think the thing with I think with the Paloma band, I think she just really likes having. She wants a band that are a band. She doesn't want to just pick and choose a load of session musicians. It's like you are in the band. Even though she's obviously the artist and we're her band. So, but it's that rather than. Yeah. But I definitely, I will do. I mean, I'll do sessions for anyone who will have me.
Yeah, let us get. Let's get it from you. Let's get it from you. If you describe between the session musician, and a band member, what's the difference?
Well, I suppose it's splitting the royalties, really. A session musician, you get like a day rate, and it's good, but it's you're not. It's not like you're. I think
you're not contracted.
It depends.
As such.
Yeah, it depends on the band. I think like U2 or Coldplay or so. I don't know. There's all these famous examples, but I think one of them, even though is it Coldplay? There's a 4-piece, and even though the singer does the majority of the songwriting, I think the split is 25% each.
Really?
25%.
Whereas, and you have other bands that I've known where the main songwriter will get maybe say like the bass player and the drummer who didn't write the song but they wrote their own parts.
Yeah.
But they'll get like maybe 10%, and then so it just depends on that.
But then I guess they're known as the band.
It's the songwriter. But I think that's
I would really want you to explain the thing of the royalties, because a lot of musicians don't understand the royalties.
I mean, I think it's songwriter. It's basically who's written the song. I think it's unaware.
So it goes from who wrote the song, going down, and who gets the split.
And then you'll get. Again, it just depends on how they. If it's like a band, it just depends how they do it. I mean, if it's. And I think like a lot of artists like Paloma, she'll write with other people as well. So, and then they'll split that. I mean, it just depends. It varies on session by session basically. And then you've got like producer stuff as well. They'll.
Do you get paid for a tour? Like because you're going on tour?
Yeah, we get paid.
You're going to get paid. This is
we
your
get
tour.
paid per day.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
so every day you're away, you get payment.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're working for it, though.
You're working hard and you're away from your home.
It's a day rate.
You do what you love, though.
You do what you love.
What you love, what you feel, how you...
that is good. But I have to say as well, there's I was talking to a friend about this as well. There's sometimes an idea that kind of it's kind of devalued and sometimes because it's like, but you love doing this. Why don't you want to? You can do it for free.
It's still hard work.
For no money because you know. And I used to kind of say with Faith X as well, like it's basically you're not just paying for a 2-hour gig, you're paying for
all the rehearsals,
all the time that you've spent honing the instrument, all the time that you spent, you know, for all those years. That's what you're paying for.
I guess with Faith X as well, you're taking all your kit and packing it away. Whereas it's slightly different, I guess, when you're on tour with Paloma.
I just walk on and there's the bass. I remember there was one time on tour and like because the crew all worked so hard as well, and I just remember we just kind of swanned in at like we arrived on the bus and just before sound check, and you know they've been busy in a way, and we're just wheeling our cases, and you kind of so I you know fully respect
because you've been through all that and you've worked so hard that you know what it takes to do all that.
But with Faith X we're like, I mean we've got a guy who does all the PA and sets that up, but I'll do all my own stuff.
Like so many young musicians, they got a problem of signing contracts.
Oh well, fair.
In terms of what I think people don't read they say it's small print. Yeah. And all that kind. How was it with you?
I mean, I don't really. I have a contract if I'm with the client, if I'm booking for Faith X, but as a musician, like I've never had a contract.
Really?
As a session
it's quite musician, that's interesting actually, because I mean if you do anything for TV, normally you'll get it's either BBC or if it's ITV it will be via the production company, so you'll get like an MU like a packed agreement, and you kind of you sign to say that they're you know you sign the fee varies, but you get like an extra fee, which means that they're able to broadcast your performance. So
it's kind of like a disclaimer.
I guess so. Like just like a permit. You could basically give your permission, and then and you sign it, and then they'll pay you the money for that. So it's like a buyout. It's like a one-off fee. And then sometimes if there's repeats, you might get a little bit later. But anyway, basically it's like a buyout, and you kind of do the same thing a lot of the time if you're recording, like in a recording session.
Okay.
So again, it's like basically you'll sign in to say that that they can use the thing, and basically you're not eligible for royalties. But as a performer, you can then register. So PRS is this kind of songwriting rights, and but you also get PPL. So as a performer, every time that song is broadcast, if you performed on the recording, you'll get a small amount of royalty.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Just for the performance of it. Yeah.
So like when that radio play the songs, you get a small amount of that.
Yeah. So it's good it's good to basically play on a song that's getting played loads. Then your money will go up.
And so you're in the recording studio with Paloma, obviously pre-show, pre-tour.
Sometimes. I mean, it depends on the thing as well. I find a lot of the producers that she work with they can kind of play it's all programmed or it's on a synth. A lot of the producers are like, well, I can do the bass on here, and I also play guitar, so I'll play guitar, but we can't. But they'll bring in the backing vocalist. And have like 5-6 of those or whatever, depending on the sound, and maybe like they'll bring in real piano, but then say if it's like, we need double bass, then they'll get me in or whatever. So it depends, but that's kind of
how it works.
As well. So.
Do you think internet has affected a lot of musicians in terms of getting their records out? What's your take?
I suppose so. I think a lot of,
because we used to have CDs, you go in HMV, you buy a CD.
I think a lot of money now. I think a lot of artists make money now on touring as well.
Do you think that?
Live, and it's. That's like a way to do it, because I think obviously you don't have physical record sales as much. I mean, there's still a bit, but it's nowhere near what it would have been in the 90s.
No, not at all. No.
So I think that's definitely affected it. I also know as well that kind of within, I think TikTok has a lot of sway now. Like
really,
like an awful lot. So if something's like had like a lot of trending on TikTok, I know some of the producers I know, they'll be asked to do songs that are like this because it's trending. And also I know an artist as well who had it's a bit that world is very kind of alien to me. I'm not
but I prefer the olden days. I prefer the olden days.
I think there are pros and cons to it, aren't there? I think some of this stuff with TikTok and the social media like that, similar, is that kids are listening to older music
Yeah,
and they
that's
know
good.
the songs.
Yeah, and actually, this is the thing. It's like so Paloma's her biggest song. So I think she was number 1 here or number 2 here, but number 1 in Australia. That's the one. So that was trending on TikTok, and so now, and she says to the audience, she's like, and I've seen a lot of younger fans thanks TikTok.
They love it.
And I remember there was like a Fleetwood Mac song as well. I think Dreams was like huge because someone was skateboarding with some cranberry juice or something. Yeah. And then
it's crazy. And you've got the Kate Bush song that went viral because of Stranger Things, and you've got, and I think it's cool. Really.
I think that's nice. That's good. Get the good, like the classics
songs. Out there.
Songs.
Yeah, so
definitely.
I think it's cool for that. But I think Paloma's Only Love is 10 years old. I think. Yeah. Already, so that's getting revived.
So old.
Yeah, me too.
But you come back again.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's still fresh.
I reckon we're quite a similar age.
Yeah. This is I do think as well the age thing is kind of, I'm kind of really determined for it not to be a factor, but I'm sure it will. But I think it's just a case of then.
How are the hands?
Oh, fine. Yeah. Oh yeah. All that's great. I actually feel much more. I feel more confident. I feel like I'm a better performer now than I've ever been. So and I've always really disliked, even when I was like in my teens, I really disliked the kind of ageist thing that I can remember reading some things like back in the day and people being like, oh, she's too old or something with an artist. And, I remember somewhat when Madonna played at the Brit Awards as well. With the cape that did the cape, didn't know? We did the Brit Awards that year with Paloma. And all in the back, we didn't meet Madonna. It was like, but it was lockdown, but lockdown, not the COVID one. I mean, she was
locked down. Yeah,
I think in her room, but all of her assistants. So it was when she fell off the thing.
Yeah,
she
I remember,
on the cape,
and it didn't. Yeah.
But the cape, we went to rehearsal, and there was someone going, "Oh yeah, we don't need to tie it in this kind of bow." And we came back, and they were like, "No." There was 2 different people going, "No, we do it in a knot." So they were already, the cape was an issue. They messed up with the cape.
Yeah.
So, but I remember at the time I had some male friends of mine who were also quite a bit, probably well in their 40s at that point. Yeah. And they've got a band, and I remember them saying like, "Oh yeah, she's too old now. She needs to just pack it in."
Why?
I remember I was so annoyed. I'm like, so what you'd say that about Mick Jagger? It was a cape.
Yeah.
It means nothing else. And I know
that
it's really infuriating, and I think
because you see all of these like Tom Jones performing.
Exactly.
And we were all like
and
looking up.
Though. I mean, amazing.
Dolly Parton.
And that's
incredible.
And we're looking
Dolly
at
Parton.
and Beyonce just sang with Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
We're looking at these amazing women and Tina Turner, and you're looking at why are people looking at Madonna? And I think it's the very much like the sexual side of her that people kind of look down at, still frown upon her, and don't see her as this like amazingly talented, very strong business woman. Actually,
such a lot of good songs. But I guess like Dolly's always been a bit more of a cartoonish.
I like Dolly.
I love Dolly. She's amazing. But it's more cartoonish. So I suppose if that's kept up. But it's funny, the perception of that, and it's like, I guess Dolly. Though, I think there was a lot of memes recently about like, I don't know, like Elton John was kind of shuffling on stage a bit. So I guess, but I don't know, I just feel like I hate that. I always hated the idea when I was in my teens. That you've only got like a finite window. And I just always thought that was ridiculous because it's just, I don't know. So
as long as you can keep playing, you're going to keep playing.
I think,
but I remember, I think when I first thought about, so back to the jazz thing, I think when I first thought about trying to learn how to play jazz, I was thinking to myself, well, at the worst, I can be like an 80-year-old woman in the corner of a pub, just with with my bass, just playing some little jazz gig somewhere that's, so and you'll be happy with that. Yeah, exactly. That was, I remember having that thought very early, because then it felt like there was a, like a point, because I guess as well, I didn't like the point that this career would only last until I was like 40 or something, and then it would be but I think things were a lot.
It should go on forever.
I think things are a bit different now, actually, as well. I mean, you will get the odd like ageist person or whatever, but I do think things are a lot different, and just in the I don't know, looking back on like again, I think there was some like Instagram thing about this, but they played a load of clips from kind of early 2000s of like, it's just bizarre, like the whole body image thing, like people being, it was like Samantha on Sex and the City, and they're all aghast because there's this tiny little bit of fat, and then it was like, and Simon Cowell saying there was this singer on X Factor, and she's like, they're like, there is a problem though, and she's like, it's my weight, isn't it? And they went, yeah. And then Sharon Osbourne being like, yeah, you're gonna have to lose the weight, love. And it's like, this is
how crazy.
And but this is like, that's when I was,
how much of times changed though.
Thank God. And I think, but as well, I think that I remember like this was what I was, and worse in the 90s when I was like,
you were trying to make it
early teens.
But how do you feel inside though?
I mean, this was so normalised, and you just think that it's incredible now to think about that. But thank God it isn't like that. But
and I hope it's the same in terms of like the age, like you say. I hope it's the same.
Exactly.
Because like you said, you know, you've and actually I noticed this, and I thought of this the other day. You actually see a lot of male bands, even when not that I go out very often, but if ever I go to a pub and there's a band, it's always a male band, older male band. You never see many older female singers in bands, local bands. Why is that?
I kind of, maybe this is interesting. I kind of, I wrote a dissertation on this at university, so there's basically something, because when the music, so I preferred Nirvana's songs the most, but like I mentioned earlier, like it was L7, all female bands, Babes in Toyland. I mean, you had plenty of other things like Pixies, Breeders. So there was always a lot of female. I was seeing a lot of female musicians in the music that I was the contemporary music of the time. Yeah. So for me and my friends in the band, Bev's Asthma, they were all female as well. Yeah. So I think for us, it just felt very equal to be able to play if you were male or female. And then there became, when I was at college. So this is like. Like early 2000s, I felt like things had shifted. It got very male again. It was a lot. It had the, I think Britpop, you had like the Elasticas, but it was always like, I think as well the more successful bands were the male ones. Like the Blur and Oasis. And then by the time early 2000, it just felt, I don't know, or whatever my radar was picking up on. Again, it's quite difficult because we only just about had the internet. And so I think whatever was being pushed was very male. So I'm sure there was lots of other bands, but what was in the music press and TV, it went very male again. So I kind of wrote
something like that.
And I kind of wrote my dissertation, and it wasn't on female artists like Bjork. It was purely about musicians in bands, and I think my whole thing was that it's like pyramid effect. So if you're seeing loads and loads of men all making it to like the most successful bit, like then other men are going to see that and go, oh, look at this, I can do
we're
this.
Inspired.
And with fewer, so the pyramid of like amazing musicians is much bigger. Whereas if you've only got a few females, other females looking at maybe, I mean, this is a little bit kind of,
theory,
gender, like stereotypical gender stuff. But I mean, but anyway, so but just looking, fewer. If there's fewer women doing it, then you're going to be seeing. Then there'll be fewer women trying to do it. So that's like the pyramid theory, basically.
It's like that idea. So, are we going to be able to make it? Well, should we not try then? Because that might waste my time. What's the point?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess you can see like now with like female. Again, I've had some sexist things. From football fans, my friends, and like some of this crap they'll go on about the female footballers. Anyway, but
no, don't.
Yeah, I know.
I just what I'm talking about.
I want to hear it.
No, I'm not peddling it.
No. Just a brief summary. Basically, you get a lot of things on the internet where they're showing all the terrible mistakes that female footballers make, rather than showing all the positive things and the really good football that they play. I'm sure there are crap things that males are doing on the football pitch as well.
But it's the same pyramid effect though. How many women were they seeing on TV when these footballers now were growing up? How many female footballers were they seeing?
No one. I can't even remember it.
But now imagine like kids now, like that were into, I kind of chose music over sport. I made that distinction.
Yeah, there's always that. But you either are or you're not.
And I'm. But the amount of young, like really young girls now who are into it. They've
brilliant.
got such a good example.
Yes.
So you'll be seeing so many more, and then the standard goes up.
And it's just
I think the girls are
so
coming
normalised
up.
now, and I love that. But it wasn't, because I didn't even play football at school growing up. It wasn't even an option for a girl growing up. So
I think the girls are making it now.
Yeah, they're doing brilliantly.
But
it's going to take time, isn't it? It's going to take time. They're not going to be immediately amazing. Yeah. It's going to take.
If you've got 1,000 male football players and 100 female football players, how many of that 1,000 are going to be like at that top level? You're going to have more at the top level, and then you get more at the top level. So if you've only got 100 female football, how many are going to be that top level? It's the same as music. Like how many are going to be incredible female drummers, because they just aren't as many. It's not because women can't play drums, because they really can, obviously, and better than
men, equal
to men, but a lot, like our drummers.
But let me put it for you.
But it's not about ability.
Sometimes they can play
better.
Not sometimes.
Okay.
The way you
cut again, or it'll be cancelled. Cancelled again.
That's African coming.
I think it's just. There's no difference for me. There's different styles of drummer in terms of ability. The ability of male or female, it's zero difference. Absolutely zero. I know there's different feels and vibe, but whatever a female can do, a male can do. I think there's no difference in music whatsoever. And obviously quality of voice, you tend to get. I mean, I'm quite deep, but I'm not a pro singer. But there's. I just think it's as possible. So I think it should hopefully be a very equal thing. I mean, the Paloma band now is actually skewed to more female than male. We've only got 2 guys.
This is what I was telling you. I said
he thought it was all female. I said no, there are males.
All female, the band. But I see a lot of
because they're at the front and performing. I'm not sure why that is. It's obviously just logistics or something, or just aesthetically looks good.
Kind of,
but for me, on the side, when I look at that, this is great.
Yeah.
Because you can just have a band with females.
Yeah.
And they play the same. You do.
And also, it's a weird one though as well, because the thing with, I've always found it's like, it's an advantage sometimes, and someone will actively seek you out because they're like, I think a female bass player would be cool. So it's kind of, and that's always like, why? You kind of don't want it to be that, although I'll happily take the opportunity.
It's like, I want to be the best choice. That's why you've chosen me.
So there's always that thing that you feel like slightly like, are you compromising on who you would want because of that? So I think again that's a strange little thing to get round, but
tough decisions.
But I just again that might feed into the imposter syndrome a little bit, but I try not to let it because I feel
always
like
remember what Prince said.
Yes, exactly.
And then you're okay.
But the thing
reveals tattoo.
I'm so jealous. You've met Prince though.
I know, it's amazing. But coming up now, you've got Glastonbury now coming up.
Glastonbury, and we've got Glastonbury Montreux Jazz Festival. So I'm really looking forward. That was excellent.
Is that with Paloma, the jazz festival?
Yeah. So because they don't obviously we'll probably do a few jazz covers, but they don't want to. I think the program for the festival isn't just purely jazz, but we've I mean the amount of people who've played there as well, it's insane.
Where is it? Sorry,
Montreux.
Yeah.
So
where's Montreux?
Switzerland.
What country?
Switzerland.
Yeah, it's like it's amazing festival. It's like we got to see the founder of the festival basically has recorded every performance there, and then he digitized all of the archives. So we got to go and what we could. But you were like, oh right, Nina Simone. Should we go 1972 or 1984 performance?
And you can go back.
Watch it, and you can just go through this iPad and it's digitized everything.
That's crazy.
It's kind of like I don't know. You know about the tiny desk?
Oh yes.
The tiny desk where everything is digital. But it's just a corner. And inviting all this great, wonderful music.
It's cool.
And they just play. Amazing.
Oh, I love that.
I love that. Yeah.
So you're going. So when are you in Montreux?
12th of July.
Okay.
But we're doing like Camp Festival. That's quite funny actually because the Darkness are on, I think, before.
Oh,
us,
cool!
So
and you're good friends, so
It'll be quite funny to see that.
I think we need to come back.
It's the Lowestoft takeover.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like it. Love it. Love that.
So many things we've learned today.
I know.
I think we need to come back.
Oh yeah.
If you allow us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We'll do
I've learned a lot.
Maybe I'll come. Well, this whole setup, I can come to Ipswich.
That would be amazing.
I felt so guilty. I literally thought
we can make you some tea. We can make you some tea.
It was like I just literally thought. Context, but like. When Elle came round, I was like, I just had a thought. I was like, this isn't filmed, is it? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, scruff bag. So I'm like, quick, put the makeup. I was in like, yeah. So I'm just like, quick, emergency eyeliner and stick a hat on. And but yeah, and then because I just didn't think, and then obviously all this equipment, because I just thought it would be just like I don't know what I thought. I should have known.
Dictaphone.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't need. It'll be fine. Yeah, if you can come here, it's fine. And then obviously you brought all the stuff. But I'll definitely come.
That would be really nice.
That would be amazing.
But then before I think we do a closing.
Yeah.
I've got a serious question for you.
Okay, go on then.
I don't know what this is going to be.
This is just me.
Go on then. Nervous. No.
It's about a bass.
Okay, go on then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How can you tell
a
bass is a good bass? It's been made well. You know what? I hold on. Edma, can you pass me a bass, please? I'm going to give you a bass.
Okay, go then.
You look at Andrea's face. She is not trusting you, Cedric.
No, I need to not. Because I might make judgments before if I see what name it is.
No,
you won't.
No, you won't see the name.
Oh, you've covered it. Oh, good.
We'll cover the name.
Okay.
By looking at the bass and holding the bass.
Okay. Well. Okay, I'm a Fender P bass girl, so and we're also now kind of an Ernie Ball music man. So the thing is, for me, I just feel like I don't really care if it's like I don't care if it's a 500 quid, or probably if it's a 15 grand P bass, it's probably going to be pretty. If it's a 1960s P bass, it's probably going to be worth.
And you can feel that.
I think if it's all right, if you just play, if you like the bass, then the bass is great. Because you can also, there's lots of things like the American-made Fenders are worth more money, but then sometimes you'll get a run that was in, there was a run in Japan, and they were like the cheaper ones, but they're like really prized. There's a certain year of like Japanese-made Fenders that people love, and it's so I'm not a snob.
So what's it got to feel like for you? What's a good feel like? Is it going to be light or?
Well, it's also to do with the setup. The action's a bit high for me on this one.
What does the action's a bit high even mean?
Just do what you want to do.
So the action. That's basically the height away.
You've got to push it down to.
Yeah, so that's the action.
To the thread.
So, but I like a bit of an action because I like to feel the movement. I don't like, some people like it super low. I don't like that because I dig in. So that's all personal. Yeah. But I don't know. This feels is quite. I don't know. This is
looking at this one.
Looking at this one, I'm not as keen on this shape, if I'm honest.
Yeah, be honest. Be honest. Yeah.
But that's irrelevant. You've got this is like a. You've got a P bass pickup here and a jazz. This is like a Fender Jazz pickup. So you've got like a this is so a P bass just has those two pickups, and then a jazz bass has that. So I'm presuming that
can you just show that on the camera?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like my P bass has just got those pickups, and then if you have a jazz, you've got these pickups. So they're trying to like amalgamate between a P bass sound, which is more of a kind of your classic punchy. That was the first ever electric bass, so it's like the original. And then the jazz bass is more of a like a kind of brighter and more like slightly more. Yeah. I think this feels like a jazz-sized neck. So I
what
don't
do you reckon? Would you guess what?
Nice. I don't know. Aria.
You can't repeat it. Should take it out.
Oh, it's Yamaha. Okay.
Is Yamaha any good? I don't know.
Yeah, they're good. They're good basses. I think Nathan East has a Yamaha. There we go. Yeah, good enough for Nathan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's good.
Wow.
Is it yours?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Here's a tune, love.
Could you, Cedric?
I get that so often.
you?
Excuse the tune up there. The double bass, I used to get. So when I was in London, I just didn't have a car because I was so close to the tube. I've got wheels for the double bass. I can literally rest it here and I'm wheeling it along. I'd just get the tube. It's you'd have to faff. I would get someone singing all about coming back late from a gig. Someone singing either All About the Bass, the Meghan Trainor song.
It's all about the bass.
And I get, is that a cello? No. Is that a cello?
Oh.
Core that to big banjo and give us a tune, love. It was like that. You can play like drunk person bingo. Yeah, you're like dependent. If it had been like, if I was tired, I was like,
which one's it going to be today?
Just someone just go, excuse me. I'm like, no, it's not a cello. No, I can't play you a tune. And it is a big banjo.
And did they go?
No, I didn't do that. I felt like it. Tired and grumpy.
Internally.
No.
Brilliant.
I'm never tired and grumpy.
No.
Lovely. In closing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having us, but also we just want to give
Hold
you...
on,
Go on.
There,
Hang on. Well, you just pointed at me like it was the band
closing.
nod, like let's improvise this section.
She needs to advise us.
Oh, yeah, with a bit of advice. Go on. For resilience and making it...
Yeah, for
what would my...
Like, what would you... to upcoming or even someone that's a bit older, still trying to pursue their dream in their career, like if you could give them anything.
Practice loads, but not until you get blisters, which I did do. I practiced so much once that I ignored the listen to, if you start getting blisters, listen to it. Because I had to do a recording once where they were like literally like blood.
Yeah.
And I was like, if these burst, I'm going to have raw skin. Anyway, that's a bit unsavoury, sorry.
Yeah.
If anyone's squeamish. But I did just practice loads. Don't be late.
Yeah.
Love
I am
that.
sometimes, but only by a couple of minutes. But you can get away with that.
Yeah.
No, you can't get away with it. Don't be late.
Don't be
early.
Be early. I think that's a huge one.
It's good for you as well.
Yeah.
Makes you feel more confident. You're there on time. If you're late, you already start with anxiety.
Late, but I think as well, just I don't know. I just think it's just I don't know that like just being professional. Like, don't moan. Don't try not to. Oh, that but you will. But don't moan to the wrong person.
Yeah.
Don't be a diva. Respect everyone else. Don't be a dick.
Yes.
I love
that.
Just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dick. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
Basically, yeah. There we go.
Right. Okay.
So our gift
Yes.
to you.
We have a
an
gift for you.
appreciation.
Amazing.
Obviously, people wait till like later in life and they go, oh, do you know what? We're going to appreciate these people now. They're no longer here on this planet. And it's like, well, hang on, that's too late. Okay. So we've got you some lovely flowers just to say
amazing.
Thank you so much for everything. And we appreciate you and everything that you're doing. Not only as a female, but as an amazingly creative and talented musician. So thank you so much. And you said you wanted some flowers for your vase behind us. And I was thinking should we give them early, but we've saved it.
Thank you.
So they smell beautiful. So they're for you.
Yeah. I really love flowers.
We are the Mic Podcast, and we just wanted to say
thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much.
It's so amazing.
Thank you.
It's not the last time she come back.
No. She's coming to us. She's coming to us. Love it.
Amazing.
Right.
Thank you, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please, to our channel. And we'll be back again next week. Thank you very much. And thanks to Andrea. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Me want my dad, give me to my wee. Me want my dad, give me to my wee. Me work a god, give me to my wee.